Hopefulness 2.0, day 27. This is essentially take two because I had to take a shit and stop recording. Fortunately, I only recorded for like 3 minutes, but so this I did not show well yesterday. This is the padded shoe. It kind of looks like pudding. It inflates a lot, which is awesome. Oh man, got all kinds of goodies in the fridge right now. I've also got all these canned goods that I'm gonna, like I said yesterday, I'm gonna take care of those. It's a little chilly right now, actually. For the first time in a while, I'm gonna turn on the heaters. Like the one was actually kicking on, but it's like set for 72, and it's like 58 or something outside right now. So, actually, I'm gonna change up something real quick. Ta-da! It's actually kind of cold. It will definitely warm up later because I'm gonna be cooking some stuff. Starter needs to get refed because I'm gonna attempt to do that today. So effectively 3 things today that I want to do is I want to start making my sourdough and potentially make it today, but probably not because it's almost 11 o'clock. I gotta feed this starter first before I can do anything. And then I've gotta wait like 3 to 4 hours depending on how much it rises and everything and timing. So that in of itself is gonna be a thing, its own little thing. And then there's the whole other process of mixing and autolyzing and bulk fermentation and proofing and all that stuff too. So, so I'll probably end up cooking it tomorrow, just like I did last time. But it's okay. You can wait. It's only been a couple of days. I literally just got the Dutch oven. It's not even really a Dutch oven. It's kind of one, but not. So I was watching Claire's videos yesterday. Fell asleep watching them, and I was watching I was watching a bunch of them, but I was watching the ones that are kind of like pertinent to what I've been like buying stuff for and whatnot. So I want to make the pastry cream and the lemon curd today. And the lemon curd, I'm going to use her Meyer lemon tart curd that she makes in that video. That way I can, because apparently it can last a long time because of how acidic it is. And I don't have Meyer lemons, I have just regular lemons, but that's okay. I need the zest of 2 of them, which is why, when I went and bought them, I was trying to find some good looking lemons. I think these 2 are going to be the ones I'm going to use because they seem to have the fewest blemishes, although the way that some people like to work when they work in the fucking produce section is they like to put these stickers on blemishes, which is annoying. It's like, don't do that. Okay, good. You didn't do that. So I'm going to use those 2 for the zest, utilizing it's a microplane. I've rarely gotten to use it. I mean, I bought it, I want to say, maybe 2 months into living at the last place, and then I'd only lived there like 4 months, and then COVID hit. And I stopped cooking like, I want to say 2 months after that. And it was a slow progression away from it all. So, you know, there was a lot of stuff that I bought that I just wasn't able to use. I got all the bones and stuff for chicken. I'll make stock out of that later. Clean this shit up though. It's still so good. It's cold. It's not crisp. Yet it's still so good. Oh man. So yeah, I've got the ingredients that I need for the pastry cream. I got the ingredients needed for the lemon tart, for the sourdough. While I make those, I will probably, I'm thinking I'm gonna try to make some more pâte à choux puffs as well, because I figure, I mean, you know, if I have the pastry cream, why not put them in the puffs? Kind of create my own little version of what's-its. This is one of the things that she also mentioned in her video, was, you know, you can kind of add other stuff to the actual pâte à choux dough itself. And what I'm thinking of doing is maybe adding, like, this is just going to be an experimentation and hopefully doesn't cause a failure, but I'm going to take like half of it and I'm going to mix in like a tablespoon of sugar and then a tablespoon of brown sugar and maybe like a half a teaspoon of salt to kind of give it more of this extra desserty kind of cookie taste to it. I don't know how well that's going to go. I don't think it's going to ruin it, of course, because it's just sugar and salt. It might make it a little on the sweet. It'll definitely make it sweeter, which is the goal. Hopefully the sugars, when mixed it, because I mean they're not going to be like in the dough as it is kind of situation, pre-cooked and all that. It's going to be kind of like, hey, we're extra, so it might cause, and you know, so it won't be totally homogeneously mixed. But the idea is that I felt like a little extra sweetness would be nice. Now, it may not be necessary with the pastry cream, but at the same time, that's also kind of the point, is so that, like, they could just be kind of by themselves. The pastry cream could go into the ones that are already the way they are. I don't know. You know, I could add some kind of savory filling. I don't fucking know. I don't know how the hell I would make a savory filling, but it's whatever. I mean, I could throw in some sour cream. I'm not sure. But conceptually, the idea is play a little bit with it, because the dough in of itself, I know it works. I know it's good. I want to make some slight adjustments to it to see what happens. More than anything else, just for that sole purpose of experimentation. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and actually refeed my starter. Just dump a little bit of it out, even though I kind of feel bad doing so. Apparently, and what Claire had mentioned, kind of dumped out a bit more than I thought, but that's okay. Because I learned a thing or two in her video, which is kind of the point, right? I'm gonna go ahead and put this up there, even if I'm not using it, and even if whatever, but so it's whatever. That's a good spot. Put you on top of the fridge instead. Go. Alright. Now put you on top of that. Alright, now that I don't have a microwave in my way. So, one thing that I didn't really learn prior with regards to starter is adding the water first. Much better idea. Yeah, I literally just brought the water out and it's right there. Add the water first, stir it into the stuff. It helps dissolve it quite a bit. Damn, 100 straight up. Now I don't have anything really to scrape anything off of, but it's whatever. Now, so take this, mix it in, scrape and mix, and scrape and mix, and scrape and mix. This is not the best container, especially because at the bottom of these containers, there's like these tiny little, I don't even know what to call them, but they're almost like spikes, I guess, but they're not really spikes because they're flush with the side, but they stick out just a little bit. And I'm sure it had something to do with the molding process. It's plastic. But it's annoying because, you know, you can't stir properly because it gets caught on things. So it makes it a little bit frustrating to do that. But with adding the water first, it helps make it much more liquid, much easier to stir everything. Get it more evenly distributed. It makes the whole thing much wetter in the beginning because you want it wet for the addition of the flour later, which is coming now. Smell it though. It smells right. In a good way. Add a little bit of whole grain flour. Let's not dump it. Because almost every time I fucking spill the flour all over the fucking place, make a mess that I don't clean up because I'm so bad at that shit. 50. See, instead of doing 113 grams, what the fuck, I don't know why. I think it was King Arthur flour. I was like, why am I doing 115 grams? There's no point in that. Instead, I'll do 100 of each. That's just easier to work. It's the bread flour. A bit more. Damn. Just under. Here we go. Now I'm probably just over. Just a little bit, but not much. 100.3 grams, whereas the water was 100.1 grams. So, you know, I'd say that's good. Oof. So, clean you off a little bit. Alrighty, now time to get this mixed in here. knife is better because it's less surface area. But it's enough surface area to get stuff going, moving around and all that stuff. But it's less surface area than this, so it doesn't have a bunch of stuff stuck to it. Which kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to work. I'll just use, there it is, Clean Nork. I mean, it's funny how like simple sourdough starter technically is. It's just flour and water of equal measures, equal weights. You just want to hydrate the dough. You don't really want to knead it or anything. I mean, you're basically just long-term autolyzing it / bulk fermenting and the like. I mean, the whole process is fascinating. It's funny, I would rather do this every day than, you know, at least currently anyway, and make a cup of coffee. I don't know. Maybe I'd like to do both. I don't know. But I definitely don't want to have to go to work. Is this, you know, in of itself is it's time consuming in its own little way. Let's go ahead and wipe off the top. So it's clean. It doesn't dirty up the dish towel. Put it back on top. All right, that is ready. So yeah, it's funny. I was reading some Imgur comments and stuff about a post. I think it was somebody who was like, "Oh, I know what it was." So it was a post about people in Ukraine who were like playing music and the like, despite everything that was going on. And somebody was like, you know, when they were dying of, or potentially dying of cancer because they weren't dead, of course, they were like, do what you love. You know, in the worst of times, at the very least, you know, you'll be making yourself feel better, etc. It had me think, and I was like, it's funny because, like, what did I do? I took all my stuff, I put it into a place that I can't currently afford, and then I started baking. And I always thought I was a bad baker. But you know what? I never really did it either. That was the worst part. I thought I was bad because I had never done it. And the few times that I did do it, it didn't turn out good. And, you know, it goes back to something that, you know, I said previously in other videos. It's like when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to cook. Because the few times that I did cook, you know, it was, what was it I was trying to think? A few times that I did cook, it wasn't good enough in some way or another, or my mother thought I was going to burn a fucking house down or some shit. Because, she, you know, she's a catastrophist, and that's why I am a catastrophist. It's like, there's a reason I'm not going to have any kids. I don't want to put my neuroses on somebody else. For them to then, you know, there's certain types of lineages that should not be passed down, and, you know, behavioral neuroses is definitely one that should be axed. I think my sister is pretty much the same too. I'm pretty sure she's just like, look, this ain't happening. Kids is not going to be a thing. Unfortunately, she lives in fucking Texas. So I don't know what the situation was with her and her boyfriend, but you know, she and I keep tabs, whatnot. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's and like I said before, oh fuck, I forgot to zip the flour up. It's like I wanted it in some way or another. I wanted my mom to cook more. You know, I would buy, like, I wouldn't really buy it, but it would be like, I would want to get, you know, like kitchen equipment for her, you know, birthdays and Christmas and stuff. Not really understanding my motives. Now I understand my motives a little bit more. Like right now I have stuff sitting in my Amazon cart because I couldn't find any of the stuff that at an actual store, and I'm like, I shouldn't buy it. I don't have the fucking money, but I kind of want it, and it's not because I just want to play. It's because these are useful, and it's like, fuck. You know, the basic things: mixing bowl, bench scraper. One was hand mixer. It's like $20. And I think the little dusting wand too, which was like $8 or $9, something like that. And like, yeah, the dusting wand is probably the one thing of those that's like super superfluous, but at the same time, it's still really efficient at what it does. You know, you put a little flour on it, you can flour your surface, no problem. You waste less flour in doing so. You get your hands less dirty with regards to flour. You know, it's a functional tool. Is it your typical one? No. Is it a bit superfluous? Yes. But at the same time, like, it's kind of that middle grade thing where it's superfluous but functional. But that's why it's all just sitting in the cart and I haven't purchased it yet. Take a bite of this chicken. I had quite a bit of like congealed fat sitting on it, so I was kind of letting it sit. Let that onion do its thing by sitting out. When time comes, in the coming days, I'll make some more meatloaf. Now, that recipe that Claire has for her carrot cake incorporates like fresh ginger and buttermilk. I don't have any buttermilk. I can make buttermilk though. You can make homemade buttermilk with actual milk and an acid. It just has to be done right. And I have vinegar and I have lemons. So it's very possible for me to do it. I also need to make that brown butter frosting. This is 2 pounds because this is literally this is the smallest size they had at Food for Less. Like I haven't been able to find the Domino version that she uses because it comes in a 1 pound box. I couldn't even find any at the Food for Less. I mean, I'm sure there might have been some, I just couldn't see it for whatever. Maybe I just didn't know exactly what I was looking for with regards to alternatives. Because I mean, this one literally took me like 5 minutes to find, and I'm standing there like looking for this shit. I go into other aisles looking for other things. I come back looking for it again, and I'm like, where the fuck is this sugar? And then I find it, and I'm like, what the fuck? How are you so hard to find? That is the main issue with generic brand items because, if you will see, the packaging is really similar. Two different products. Granted, this is Kroger, but I mean, whatever. Oh yeah, I should probably put this back in the fridge so it gets cold. Put that maybe in half. So there's just a decent amount of water in there now. So yeah, I'm gonna make me some lemon curd. Make the pastry cream. I'm gonna learn how to turn a parchment piece of parchment paper into a piping bag. Hopefully it doesn't turn into shit. I mean, I do have some painter's tape, so that helps with regards to, oh yeah, one thing I need to do. The question is, where the fuck is the painter's tape? I think it might be in this box, perhaps? Yep, there it is. Painter's tape. Shit, where's the... Find a line here, and what I can do is that will be the indicator of where the starter is now. Once it's inflated quite a bit, roughly doubled in size, then it should be ready to start baking with. So in about 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to check to see where it's located in the cup. Starting to feel a little warmer. I'm going to be making it warmer by moving around, cooking shit, turning things on and stuff. Today and tomorrow. It's funny, I get more excited during the I'm about to make sourdough than I do making the sourdough than baking it. But I haven't used that cast iron set yet. So maybe that'll change. But I mean, it kind of works out too. You know, start the week off with some sourdough. Bake it in the oven, in the 500-degree oven. Oh man. I'm gonna do what Claire does. Like, even though this is kind of built in a way like they do with Babish and Joshua Weissman, like it's a I don't want to break my thumb, but I mean you can flip it either way if you want, right? And so I'm gonna cook it this way instead of this way, because this is how they do it on the Babish version of Josh Weissman, and they're all like, why do it this way when you can, like, put your hands in there and possibly burn yourself and blah blah blah. And I'll be like, well, here's what I'm gonna do instead. I'm gonna do like Claire does. I'm gonna have the top off, right? The cast iron skillet section. I'll have that off and let the bigger base Dutch oven-y type setup sit there and pre-bake with the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then I'm going to use the parchment paper to drop it in there just like she does. So it'll be easier that way. And then I don't have to worry about burning myself. And then it's working a bit more like the Dutch oven. And I don't have to lift the heavier part while it's fucking hot. So I think that works out better. It's so crispy. I just scratched the roof of my mouth. That's good crispy shit though. Holy crap. Wow. So then this at this point, I'm gonna do some dishes. But I don't want to do dishes wearing these, and I want to change clothes, stuff. So, and I'm gonna start opening doors and shit because it's gonna start getting warm soon. So have fun.